for fintech, digital finance, and digital currency topics. Today, he will talk about the key fintech ecosystem performance indicators and state strategies. Peter, the floor is yours.
It's as always, the toughest people are staying actually at the end of the party. So actually it's a compliment. So all of you are quite enthusiastic about the startup ecosystem, which is good news. Thank you for the introduction, and let me start my presentation with a story. 1 year ago, I had the opportunity to discuss about startup ecosystem with a professor from the MIT in Boston, and we discussed the issue that it's not so easy to help startups as a policymaker or someone who is working with policies. I tried to explain him that, Michael, it's quite challenging if there's too much, money, state money on the market is a problem. It's too little. It's also a problem. Is when the universities are too strongly involved, it could be also problematic. Also, if it's too little, so it's not very easy to make startup people happy. And I asked him that what is the situation here in Boston, which is probably one of the most innovative, which has actually one of the most innovative startup ecosystem on the planet. And he looked at me and told him well, Peter, do you know Life of Brian from Monty Python? I told him, yes, I do. How many of you know, actually? That was great. This is the situation how policymakers can look like when we are talking about supporting fintech and startup ecosystem. Probably one of you heard about it, what have the Romans ever done to us? So this is exactly the situation how you can find sometimes that we try to support the ecosystem, of course. However, we have to also all in all try to modify the policies, also try to catch up with the new needs, and of course the ecosystem should also evolve. So actually, in this presentation, I try to give you an overview about a fintech ecosystem in Hungary, what kind of initiatives we started as a central bank to support this ecosystem, and also with a bit more broader perspective, try to give you also an overview what kind of initiatives we started to support the whole startup ecosystem in Hungary. I'm Peter Feigisch, I'm director at the Central Bank of Hungary, and at the central bank in our department or in our directorate, we try to focus on to support the incumbents in the digital transformation and also try to support the fintech ecosystem dedicatedly, but we will see in a few minutes that we try to give you a bit broader initiatives as well. So on this chart, you can see that the fintech ecosystem is growing nicely in the last few years. It's not as big as Tal mentioned in Israel. However, we have almost close to 200 startups. The revenue is increasing nicely. Also, the number of employees increased, actually almost tripled in the last 7-8 years, and which is very surprising that they are very profitable. So the return on equity is over 20%, which is quite unusual, let's say, from a sector which is mainly driven by micro and small enterprises, and mainly is driven by the fact that they are providing B2B businesses. So 85% of the fintechs in Hungary mainly focusing on B2B or B2B2C businesses. So therefore, they are quite profitable, usually also from the beginning. And mainly, they are also quite diversified from the sector. So one part of it is very strong in software development and system integration. Payment services is also quite relevant. Data analysis is also one. But we can see also cybersec, blockchain, also driven digital transformation advisory as well. This is also published in our FinTech report from this year, which is, I think, a very, very telling chart. On this chart, you can see we got the opportunity to observe all of the fintechs which has been funded in the last 10 years, and we try to differentiate from those who already had some funding from VCs, from those who have never get actually any funding from the VCs. And you can see that at the beginning, that one which never used VC funding is growing nicely. However, the catching up is much smaller at the end of the fourth and the fifth year. However, in the case of VC-funded fintechs, you can see that the start is is not so steep actually. However, it's catching up nicely at the end of the fifth or the fourth year. So one takeaway in this, that the VCs should play a very important role in this ecosystem. However, they should focus on the right companies, of course. Let me mention a few initiatives. One of them is we are publishing a dedicated FinTech and digitalization report every year. It's available in English and in Hungarian from the website of the central bank. And also we try to operate an innovation hub, a dedicated innovation hub, which try to support those companies who have any questions on the regulation. Of course, the financial technology is a very well-regulated industry. So therefore, they could have a few questions on if they want to have a PISP or AISP or KYC issues or anything else, or crowdfunding. It could be also happen. Then, so therefore, we try to support them in a one-window solution. So therefore, this initiative is absolutely to support, to coach these companies. When we started it, we launched this innovation hub back in 2018. At that time, my assumption was that, okay, maybe we will have 10 or 20 companies who would reach us out and try to get some advices from us through the innovation hub. And it was a big surprise for us as well that in the last 5 years, we had more than 160 requests from companies. So probably this is one number which one of the most important for us, that there is a very strong support also from the market in this journey. So it's a very good news to support the fintech ecosystem in that way as well. However, we are not only supporting them with advice, we are also cooperating with them. So we have a few initiatives where we are working together with fintechs in chatbots and other initiatives like the Money Museum app or the Student Safe app. We are working together closely with fintechs. We're also supporting them in that way as well. So it was a very, very interesting journey also for us. However, we are not only focusing on fintechs, we also try to have a broader perspective. It's quite straightforward that supporting the economic growth, the startups should play an extremely important role. So therefore, if a country has a quite strong ecosystem in the startup world, then they could also bring a very, very high impact on economic growth, and especially in a sustainable way. So therefore, Hungary joined to the MIT REAP program to support the innovation ecosystem, let's say, in Hungary. This is a team with 10, 11 people, also participants from big companies like 4iG or 77 Electronics, also with smaller companies, startups like OnCompass, but also from incubators or VCs like Design Terminal, also from universities like the Technological University in Hungary, and of course also with the other governmental body and the central bank also participated in this program. And based on this journey, we try to identify those bottlenecks or pinpoints where really can have a significant impact on the startup ecosystem. Let's walk you through all of these, or just mentioning a few of these initiatives. The first one is that we started to try to measure the impact of these companies. In the MIT REAP definition, they are considering startups like an innovation-driven enterprises. So they have a very nice definition on that. They are saying that they are it could grow exponentially, and they have some VC funding, and of course, they get some strong innovation, some R&D background. Okay, so the first problem was that VC funding is quite rare in Hungary, generally speaking, also among the IDs. So how can we define this? Okay, we missed that. So actually, based on the identification of the Hungarian IDs, we try to focus on the strong revenue increase and also on the R&D based activities. And based on these, we identified 1,100 heights hidden champions of the Hungarian economy, which are actually try to represent 0.3% of all of the companies in Hungary. However, they are supporting more than 10% of the export, and they are supporting more than 20% of the economic growth. It's a huge impact. 0.3% of the companies are providing more than 20% of the economic growth between 2009 and 2019. It's extremely strong. So therefore, if we can help these companies, if we can support these companies, if we can support increasing the numbers of these companies, it could have a very, very strong impact on the sustainable economic growth for Hungary. What other initiatives we started? We also, in cooperation with the Ministry of Culture and Innovation, and of course with the relevant government bodies and the market participants, and also with consulting with VCs, we started to, or we're supporting or forming of a dedicated legal framework for convertible notes, which could really support the funding, especially those startups which are in the early phase. Of course, we also try to support the education part. So therefore, we launched a cross-university, probably the first in-person cross-university startup course in Hungary, together with a few colleagues here. And I think it was a very, very interesting journey for us in collaboration with the Technological University, with the Metropolitan University, also with the John von Neumann University. It was very nice mixtures of students working together on dedicated startup ideas. So a few people from the Technological University, they are focusing on tech issues. A few of them from the Metropolitan, they are focusing on sales and management issues. And also from economics could come from the John von Neumann University. So they are really could have a very nice mixture in the teams in this field. And we also try to support them with of course, with the university education. It's mainly driven by the colleagues from the Technological University, but also with dedicated scholarships. And as a closing, we also believe in that not only economic causes could be important, but also places. I don't know how many of you have known that how Drew Weissman and Katalin Karikó have met. I know that Craig knows the answer, but please, you know that. Okay, could you tell us? Yeah, that's right, at the photocopier. So this shows us, which is a funny thing because I'm responsible for digitalization at the central bank. However, we know that meeting in person, not only in a digital way, not only in Zoom meetings, but really working together in person, brainstorming together, drinking beers together, it could support the whole ecosystem. So therefore, we are here actually together to boost the whole initiative. And therefore, the central bank was very happy to support to form this Hungarian Innovation Hub space, which could work as for seminars, also for any competitions, networks at the InfoPark campus I building, which is also telling I like innovation. So therefore, please use it. This is absolutely trying to support the university startup ecosystem. And of course, I also picked the picture here. The first external event was driven by, I think, by Craig's initiatives in the Climathon 1 week ago, actually. So please reach us out. We would be very happy to support this journey. And as a closing, I think one of the main takeaway of what we've got from the Boston discussions that this process is an ongoing one. So therefore, the policymakers and the startups should discuss a lot. They should fine-tune all the time their initiatives and also their needs. And if anyone can make their homework, then hopefully, if not the most innovative square mile on the planet could be Budapest, but somewhere here could be one of the most innovative square kilometer in the CEE region. Thank you very much for your attention, and I give the mic to Kata.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your insightful thoughts and sharing your stories, Peter. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. And I'm so happy that we are colleagues in the Central Bank of Hungary. So now I will also give the floor to the question and answer part, Q&As. And now We have one over there from Balázs. Please have a seat. Come.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm especially interested in this cross-university program. Can you tell us a little bit more about the structure and who is behind this? Who are the organizers? What is this 14-week course?
Yeah, actually, it's a quite classical university course. So you can get if you're successful with that, then you can get credit from the university. I think it has, let's say, 2 or 3 innovation within. The first one is that it's a mixed one. So actually, you can all of the students from these 3 universities can participate in. It's not an extremely easy way to manage, administratively. So actually, some universities are really struggling with that. So I think this is very important, and therefore we can mix the skills of the students. So we really can use or the students which are participating in the different teams, they could really have very mixed skill sets. The second one is that we also try to support them with other ways. So also we are organized 2 boot camps where really they can get some shots from knowledge about finance, about sales, about business development, and from a lot on HR, of course. So from a lot of other aspects. And also we try to support them with scholarships. So therefore, if they are successful in this journey, that they can get significant amount of money, so they can the best teams really can start their journey hopefully in the beginning of the next year, so they can really try it out how it really works in the praxis, not only in the theory.
Sounds like a great initiative.
Yeah, there is another one from Nora.
Just could you explain just in a minute what startups and how should and could and should turn to the National Bank of Hungary or to the Innovation Hub? What do you recommend? What should they know at least about the services or about the information that you can provide them with?
Actually, we have a dedicated website to support this. So what we experienced is that due to the fact that the financial services are a very highly regulated area, so therefore the first thing that if they are not deeply involved in financial services basically, then they can get some overview that what kind of regulation, if they have an idea which could work like electronic money institution, that they can get an overview that if you want to have an e-money license, then what kind of issues you should comply with. And of course, if you want to have a payment institution, maybe some others. If you want to have a crowdfunding platform, that how can you do that, and a lot of other stuff. So one is info sharing. The second one is, and I think this is the most popular one, that if they have some new ideas, it could be a small one, it could be a big one, it doesn't matter for us. They can reach us out, and we could provide them a one-window shop solution. And sometimes it's very useful because some innovation in the financial services could really have a quite mixed framework. So, for instance, probably you need someone from the IT security team, from the supervisory side. Also, you can need someone from the payment team. Maybe you also need someone from the legal team. So, therefore, we really try to support them a one-window solution, so they can come to us in online or in person. It doesn't matter, and they could really have a small football team which is there and try to answer all of them their questions. They are colleagues from different departments from our side, and it's at the beginning it's a bit, just you can see that, wow, too many people in the meeting room. However, at the end of the meetings, they realize that this is a very good one, because therefore, if any questions popped up actually in the meeting, they can get the answer quite promptly. If it's so complex, then of course we can reach them out later per email or something else. Let me share with a short story with you. At the beginning, we usually get questions from bankers. So everyone wear, suits and ties like me and something like that. And I think in 2019, in the summer, we got the first real fintech team everyone had sneakers, everyone had, you know, normal t-shirts, and that was the time where we really realized, okay, this platform can really work, because if they are, if they wanted to reach us out, then it's a good news. Yeah.
Thank you very much.